So important to the makeup of this DC United team.
Those are the players to watch, presented by RBC Wealth Management, proud partner of Major League Soccer. Hey, a win here for Toronto, and they're just 2 points back of DC. A win for United, and they are knocking on the door of the top 9 in the East. Lots on the line coming up on your MLS Season Pass.
As fast as an hour with express delivery. Welcome to your Walmart.
A man who works hard, sweats hard.
Old Spice rider fights sweat, so coach thought I was slacking. So I trained with my Old Spice, and I became the best player ever. Sometimes, a man must overcome sweat.
Jameson, a famously smooth whiskey from a famously big family. So big that Jose here could be one of us. You see, he's nearly as smooth as our whiskey. For him, wrong turns usually turn out all right. Even when he shows up uninvited, he's never empty-handed. And he only ever drinks smooth Jameson whiskey. Surely he must be part of the family. Must be a Jameson.
Or putting more time in. They could mean more peace and quiet, or more fun and games. Ideas you can drive, or that drive you. From settling in to living it up, what ideas will you bring to life? No more with RBC Wealth Management.
Welcome to Vancouver, British Columbia.
El segundo por la revancha.
What a ball in front, and on cue, it's Brian White that delivers. Goal! That'll fire things up here inside BC Place.
It's all happening too fast.
What, you nervous about the wedding?
No, it's the house, dude. We got approved.
Bro, don't stress. This house, it's the one.
Speaking
Hey soccer fans, football fans from all over the world, thank you for hanging out with us for TFC and DC United. One of our favorite former Reds, Alex Bono, went to DC United. My son Tom was heartbroken when he moved to DC United, but now I know Bono doesn't play for DC anymore, but gonna be a great game. Tom has a game this afternoon as well, and I'm hoping that TSI Allison can get some of that video over so that we can get a couple shots of Tom's game downtown Chicago today. But anyway, that's not why we're here. We're here for TFC, and TFC is an absolute mess. They are in shambles. They haven't won since that one road game just a few weeks ago, and before that it was September. This team is in trouble. But while you're here, take some time while listening to the game and hanging out with us with fans from all over the world to check that link that's pinned in the chat and donate to SickKids Hospital if you can. We are over $1,000 raised so far in our Playoff Pulse campaign. Now let's get back to the soccer. Come on, Reds. We got to get a victory today. Let's go, boys. And if anybody wants the view from these seats, let me know, because we can't give our seats away right now. Send me an email, torontosportsinsider.com or torontosportsinsider@gmail.com. Go TFC, go. Let's get 3 points today. Come on!
Toronto FC has not won here since last September. So that's why the win probability is pretty close as you look across it there.
Referee for tonight's match, Marcos de Oliveira. And over at Mission Control, should they be needed, the head VAR is Sean Tahini with Kyle Atkins alongside him in the war room, and we'll see what role they might play in this one. And part of me is almost hoping they play a role, which means there's balls in deep and there's decisions to be made for either side as they look for offense here at BMO Field. Lorenzo Insigne back into the starting 11, and a chance for him to stay there. Christian Benteke, as always, a handful for opposing teams in the box. And the goals scored column, it has been an empty one here at home for TFC at BMO Field. 4 games without a goal. They'll hope to have one before the half. If they don't, we'll start talking about 500 minutes without scoring a goal here at BMO Field.
Yeah, it's 440 minutes going into this game here. And part of the build and what needs to happen is that there's alignment right from the back. But this front four for TFC, probably their strongest attacking lineup that they've had to start the season.
Beautiful day here at BMO Field. A little bit of a wind, but nothing like it was a couple of weeks ago in the springtime. The sun is shining, and we'll see who it shines more brightly on here on this fabulous Saturday afternoon as TFC controls once again in the center circle. It begins to get settled for what they hope is a prolonged possession here. Kevin Long onto it. Kosi Thompson down the right side. Bernadeschi. And now DC United trying to play that ball forward down the left side. Kojima couldn't run onto it. All the way back for Sean Johnson. And Toronto regroups.
And Kojima will be the player who pushes furthest forward with Benteke defending that. And it's a true 5 in the back for DC United.
Bernadeschi into some space. And upended, but gets the free kick from just outside the box as the challenge from Lucas Bartlett came in a little clumsily, and Toronto will get a chance towards goal.
And DC getting their wires crossed defensively just a little bit there. Lots of space into the channel down the right side for Bernadeschi. And as he goes to come to goal onto his favorite left foot, he's brought down in the free kick opportunity now. And this is an area that Robin Fraser thought we need to take better advantage of. Get the big bodies forward from the back. And try to capitalize on some set pieces. Good delivery coming in, you'd expect from Bernadeschi.
They've been good on corners this year, Toronto FC, but no free kick goals coming into this match. No surprise to see Bernadeschi over top of this one with that left foot that you talked about. Here comes from the Italian, curling towards the back post, and just too much on it. Nobody could make a play.
It's something that we saw similar to a couple of weeks ago when Bernadeschi's service was just a little too heavy. And they do need to lock it down at the back post, but it is an overhit ball from the Italian and a wasted opportunity early. With opportunities few and far between for TFC, you really want to take advantage of those type of situations.
Luis Barraza with his first touch of the ball.
Look at the number of players around the ball right now.
Concentrated circle, wasn't it? Fabiano on that left foot. Tumbles towards Barraza, dealt with by Bartlett. Chased down there by Brindleton. And maybe Flores comes over to slow things down a little.
And part of that concentration is around the man who leads the league in aerials and is such a dominant target player that Toronto wants to have bodies around to pick up the pieces, but so does DC. They want to have players pick up those balls that come off of the target.
Juma sees that one spin over the touchline. Skip back for Long. And for Johnson, has to hurry. Rosted to Petretta in space down the left side. Holds up. And Now trying the right as they complete the switch to Kosti Thompson. Bernadeschi. Ball's in. Just feathered perfectly to Brent Hilton, but he couldn't make a touch on it. And Barraza comes over to cover.
Barraza there just in the nick of time as that lovely through ball had the perfect weight, or just about the perfect weight. It might have just been a little bit too heavy. That doesn't allow Brent Hilton to take it with the outside of his right foot and go around the goalkeeper. Well read and then smothered from Barraza.
Tackle of Benteke gets called. It almost looked like Brent Hilton had a chance to get a touch there and just didn't stick the leg out. But what a ball, and maybe a sign of things to come from Federico Bernadeschi. Coelho.
You wonder a little bit too, Blake, whether those injury concerns that Brent Hilton has, he wants to stay away from those types of collisions.
Back heel to Bernadeschi, can't get the shot, it's blocked up high. Brent Hilton leaves it on a half volley. Ball doesn't get through off of Petretta. Robin Fraser still says the mood around training is not to be believed. That everybody believes the scoring woes, the home woes, it's coming to an end. And you have to give TFC all sorts of credit for that. It's gotten to that point, and they've been pretty good on the road too, much as you said about DC United. I mean, it's almost a point per match away from BMO Field, and nothing really wrong with that.
He was so disappointed after the last home loss here to New England last week. And in his press conference, he said there are no silver linings from that game. But then he changed his mind a little bit after he rewatched it. And he saw the first 20 minutes were really good. They created some opportunities. It was simply down to two egregious mistakes that then saw the ball go in the back of their own goal. And down 2-0, the engagement levels weren't there in the second half. They needed to be the team that was pushing to try to get something from the game. And he was disappointed in that, but he did say that training's been good this week.
Gina Stroud doesn't connect. Handed back by Toronto. I mean, well, Troy Lesesne would like everybody to forget that match early in the season versus San Jose happened, because other than that, he's not too displeased with his team's efforts.
No, but I will say one thing. I think that 6-1 loss in San Jose changed some things structurally that have improved the team, and that's going to a 5 in the back. They changed the goalkeeper. Barraza came in for Kim, and things have improved defensively, clearly. And in 3 of the last 4 games, they've got wins, including the US Open Cup midweek. And he gets the sense that this team is starting to go in the right direction. They need to create more chances offensively as well, and make sure that that defensive side stays tight. And still have allowed the most goals in MLS, but it's been much better recently.
1 or less in the majority of the last 5 here. Herrera to Benteke. Flip forward, Stroud onto it, just puts it into space, and Sean Johnson alerts all that he's got it. Thompson down the right side. The sunny side through balls there for Insigne. Will he get to it again? Second time in these opening minutes of the match where the through balls are just a half step ahead of the Toronto players.
And again, it's that ball just curling around and finding its way, even with 5 in the back. The lanes in between rolls there, and the fullback Schnegg have opened up a couple of times for the Toronto FC forwards, trying to get onto those, and just on a couple of occasions it's been just that bit too heavy.
Vane can't get to it. Corpiano from distance sails up over the bar, but the aggression from Corpiano earns the corner kick as Barraza gets a piece of it.
Yeah, it's a good save in the end from way out. Corpiano never afraid to shoot, and I thought he had a decent game of the Toronto players last week. So many didn't, but Corpiano creating chances, cutbacks, and on this occasion looks to shoot from well out. Good positive mindset from the young Canadian, and a good save as well from Barraza.
Corners in, near post. Sidney tracks it down. Coelho looking back post this time. Still inside the area. Flores with a half volley off the post. Another chance on the rebound, and it's whistled wide. Bernardeschi on the half volley can't hammer it home, and once again, DC United saved by the woodwork. Tops in the league in that category already. They get one more. That's the 8th time this season the woodwork has saved them.
And Toronto coming out storming here in this first 10 minutes of the game. Davy Flores from distance, not necessarily known as a goal scorer, although he has scored a long-range beauty this year himself from his defensive midfield position. And on that occasion just rifles it off the upright and then wide on the follow-up attempt. But Toronto showing a very attacking mindset here. And I wondered if DC United might sit, try to be content with 5 in the back, make it difficult and frustrate Toronto, and then try to get TFC on the transitional play, where Toronto's been opened up a couple of times this season. But right now it's just been through good build-up play and then set pieces where Toronto has been so dangerous.
Against form so far here, DC United a 51.1% possession team. TFC at 46.5, but you're right, it's been a nice spell here for Toronto to open up this match.
I'll watch it now.
Back in a TFC possession, but maybe here we start to see a press from DC United. Instead, nice switch over to Kosi Thompson, trying to outrun Kajima, and now the ball ahead. Will Bernardeschi be able to win the foot race? He can't. And that one gets over the byline. A little bit of pressure from Bernardeschi earns the corner kick for Toronto FC.
Well, it is clear where Toronto sees a weakness in that DC defense, and it's in between the center back and fullback. Again, Schnegg there caught out a little bit, but his positioning was good enough that he had the jump on the ball retreating, but then the goalkeeper couldn't keep it in play on the pass back. And another set piece coming in.
On the right side, it'll be Bernardeschi. There comes on the left foot. That was cooked in, but dealt with by Bartlett. Back out for Insigne. Sends it, looking for Bernardeschi. Just cannot reach and get it.
And if Toronto FC's got any chance, those 2 players need to come to life. And Lorenzo Insigne hasn't started the last couple of MLS games. He had been a big part of the 5 before that, after not having started in the TFC camp to start the year. He gets his opportunity here today. Has been good in training from what Robin Fraser says. And that final pass, that's what they're looking for from him.
And it was not there that time, although a window was open for a moment. Rosted can't hook up with Kosi Thompson.
And for DC, they've just not been able to put their foot on the ball, get any momentum or rhythm to build themselves. It's been balls forward, knockdowns, and then just dealing with it. But even from the throw-in, they can't get a hold of it.
Winning the foul there, though. The player spotlight is presented by Allstate. You are in good hands. Jose Kajima, as we have seen, provides a lot of activity and quality now too. 2 goals on the season, both game-winning goals for DC United in this MLS regular season.
The goal he scored the game winner against Colorado was a beautiful volley. And we spoke to him before the game, and because of his versatility, he's been played all over the park. We asked him where his favorite position is. He just said on the pitch. He's so grateful for the opportunity coming over from St. Louis, playing in a little bit wider position here on the left side today, but also in a more advanced position than sometimes he has been earlier in the year. But I think he's been one of the best players for DC United in the last few games in particular. He says he wants to provide a little bit more. He's got a really high standard, but a good brain for the game as well. And has involved himself in a lot of positive actions, particularly in the Colorado game.
Foul's just outside the center circle, well away from the ball as Brynildson got mixed up there with Lucas Bartlett. No card, but Toronto's away once more. Corbiano. The step overs. Edge of the 6. Dealt with by DC. Stroud skipping one to Benteke, but stepping up was long. He gets it back again. Pass to Bernardeschi, looking to turn the corner on Schnegg, but can't quite get a beat on him.
That was good defending there from Schnegg. 1v1 up against Bernardeschi. That's the place where TFC is looking to find their offensive actions and build up down the right side, especially in the early part of this game. Just 15 minutes in now, and again, DC United trying to get some type of foothold in this game. They've gone through now this first 15 minutes, weathered the storm, but they need to be able to get on the ball themselves.
Low driving ball. Stroud gets ahead on it. Gets through to Benteke, and Kajima prevented from getting onto that. The ball bounding towards Barraza. Bernardeschi was lurking, won't come away with it. Big switch over to Aaron Herrera.
And that is a hallmark of the DC United build, is one wing back to the other. They're both excellent at switching play, Schnegg and Herrera. Herrera hardly having a touch in the early going here, but he's been integral in creating chances as well. Set up the goal for Kajima, the winner in the last game against Colorado.
Kajima. Get around Flores, wins that battle. Ball's free for a moment. Benteke couldn't pick it up. Flores has to be careful. Perfect pass. And it's all the way through to Petretta now on the left side. Petretta sees some space, continues his run, now holds up. Didn't have any options. Croatia, central for Flores. Thompson back to Bernardeschi. The attack from the right continues for Toronto. Thompson thought about swinging the ball through. Instead, it's back to the Italian. Edge of the box, inside, got through. There was 2 leaves there. Nobody wanted to pick up the ball. Corbiano down, around 1 man. But a wall of red and black. And he goes no further.
And that has been Robin Fraser's biggest frustration this season, is the final action, the final ball. And that was a good centering pass that came in from Bernardeschi, but it split the seams between 2 Toronto players. And that's kind of been the story for Toronto this season. They've been good in the first 20 minutes of back-to-back home games against New York City and against New England, but weren't able to score in those moments. And then they paid for it with a mistake in the back.
Chance to go over the top. Wade isn't there. Johnson with a quick rollout. Keeper clearly likes the momentum of his side, so Thompson gets it across the center stripe. Flores, Insigne back to Flores. Honduran now to Kosi Thompson. Back inside to Insigne. Croatia. Bernardeschi was swinging towards the middle. DC United defending well, preventing entry into that final third. Petretta went for a run, couldn't come up with it. Squeezes free to Corbiano. Corbiano gets the shot away and into the keeper.
And that's been something that Toronto has employed in the last few games. Raul Petretta, the left back, coming in centrally, opening up the lane on the left side for Corbiano, who does a really nice job onto his favorite right foot as he cuts it inside there. Isn't able to stretch the goalkeeper Barraza either way. But another positive action and shooting opportunity for Toronto.
Corbiano, often when he's 1v1, looks like he's out of control and about to lose the ball, but he eventually is able to get those shots away.
Yeah, kind of uses those long legs just to nick the ball at the last second and open up the lane and leave the defender.
Rolls. Double clutch with Bernardeschi right in his kitchen. Kajima. Now in tight quarters there on that far touchline. See just hanging on to possession. Savania. Another big switch over to a wide open Herrera. Now a chance to push forward for DC United. Herrera has two men to get through. Petretta picks his pocket. And a foul by Stroud.
That's where DC United can be so effective. That big switch again, Schneider to Herrera, and all of a sudden the space opens up. But good disciplined defending from Toronto as the winger Corbiano all the way back to double team on Herrera with Petretta, the fullback, and they're able to win the ball back.
Rusted to Johnson. Down the right side again, but the pass doesn't connect. It's a unforced error there for Toronto FC. Now, if the home side wants any inspiration, to this day, the Toronto record for most shots attempted as Brent Hilton charges towards the box. The Toronto record for most shots attempted and shots on goal dates back to a mid-May meeting, May 15th, in 2019 versus DC United. 36 shots, 13 on goal. The only problem with that is inspiration. It was a 0-0 draw.
36 is a lot of shots. I haven't seen a number like that, I don't think, in MLS. Certainly this season.
Thompson going for a run into the box, cutting it back. Insigne was there, but good defending by DC inside the area. Brodesky's return pass, wayward of Insigne.
Well, DC United is just not at the races right now. Afternoon game here, getting themselves into it. Fortunate, I think, through 20 minutes that Toronto hasn't found the back of the net yet. They need to settle into this a little bit quicker. Get some of that decisive play moving forward, some crispness through central midfield. That's been an area, I think, of concern for DC this year, as they haven't really had the connectors work for them. So much is relied upon to get balls forward or from the wings.
Petretta settles it down after some pinball. Active foot there from Stroud slows down Toronto.
That is one of the ways that you can work yourself into a game, though, is from the front. Pressure from the front. Toronto not great at building from the back, but DC electing to kind of sit a little bit. It was Benteke on his own looking to force it there.
Brodesky trying to split a pair of DC players, and advantage being played. There's a handball anyhow. Take your pick. Toronto ball. Corbiano. Now the pressure comes from Herrera, and that is chasing Toronto back a little bit now in the middle of the pitch.
Another thing that we might be seeing is just a daring of Toronto to break down 5+4 across midfield and frustrate. And there are no goals in the back of the net through the first half of this first half, as Toronto tend to even send another player forward and just in that moment get caught out in transition.
Little rope-a-dope, perhaps. You know? Rolls. Stroud all the way back. And DC United cannot find a way through at the moment as they try to build for a few times in the match. Now, Benteke's in all sorts of space. On the right side, Herrera had to wait for the ball to arrive, and there's an aerial duel. Kajima can't win. Curling back towards the box, beyond Benteke though, and a quick clear by Petretta. Big ball over the top from Coelho. Brodesky onside. Brodesky charts the 6. Insigne! Stop! The rebound is there. Brent Hilton can't find the corner. And all of that apparently onside. TFC misses its chance.
Yeah, I thought we might see the flag go up even that late into the play. In the end, it doesn't matter as it was skied over and the ball played, and I think the assistant referees got that right. May have even been in his own half, Bernardeschi. But what an opportunity in the end this is. Well hit from Insigne. Good save from the keeper, Barraza. And Brynhildsen has to hit the target there. He gets it caught up in his feet just a little bit. As he opens up his body, he skies it high and over. And you expect a lot more from your number 9, a player who came into this game with just over 225 minutes played. Really not a number that you want to see from a player that's been here from the start, but so many injuries to start the year. Robin Fraser insisting that he's going to be a player that once he breaks out, MLS will take notice of, but that did not look a confident finish from the Norwegian center forward.
It's the back of Savania. Bernardeschi to Insigne. Bernardeschi on his right foot, and it was a pass dealt with by DC. Anthony was able to get it out of the area. DC United having trouble leaving its defending third. Now finally into space for Kojima. Stroud. A little indecisive, finally decides to retreat to the back line. And they turn around as well. Barraza. Straight up to you now, who returns. And now it's Toronto looking to be a bit aggressive here. Keeper just gives that one away, right back to Toronto. Insigne. Brynhildsen can't do anything with it. Corbiano surrounded, able to find Insigne. Big switch over to his fellow Italian. Bernardeschi charging through one. Can't get the shot away. Back up. Flores blocked. Flores again. TFC all over them, but they can't get the ball towards goal. This exclusive NetCam replay brought to you by T-Mobile. And here is one of those attempts that, again, Barraza doesn't even have to make a play on. The frame does the work.
That's Davy Flores, who just missed back-to-back. Shot blocked, then over. And that one earlier hit the post. So that 36 shots, was it, Blake? The EFC
yeah, we're
looking to try to match that here in the first half. It has been one-way traffic. It just can't beat Barraza and get inside of the net. They hit the post on that one occasion, but they may rue those missed opportunities.
And Paul, you're not kidding. I've got it at a dozen right now in terms of shots taken, not on goal clearly.
And there was an opportunity where Insigne, I thought, should have pulled the trigger, played it off for Bernardeschi, and they didn't get a shot away. I think this is a game where you just want to keep peppering and trying to find some bit of luck as well. Perhaps a deflection or something that falls for one of the teammates, but DC United just hanging on by a thread right now.
No shots taken. No shots attempted by DC United yet. This one ahead for Kojima. Stolen by Flores. Tucked back for Kevin Long. Ball ahead doesn't connect. And now Kojima runs into traffic. Benteke's there alongside him. Favorable bounce. Servania. Too far for Aaron Herrera. Quickly back underway for Toronto. Nice work by Coelho and Insigne to spring them loose. Thompson to Bernardeschi. Right at Schnegg. Cuts back on the left foot. That one's blocked. Insigne to Flores. Center plate in the middle of the pitch. Now some space for Petretta. Corbiano cutting around Herrera, reached up to grab him. No dice. Corbiano put it into the wrong spot in the box. And Benteke does well to keep possession for DC United.
8 players in the box for DC United, plus the goalkeeper. Something Troy Lesane said he was much more pleased with than at the beginning of the year when they were shipping goals. is how they've been decisive and strong inside the area, but they've given it away here.
Bernardeschi again. Three now and off the side after the kick save creates a corner for TFC. Bernardeschi has been a handful.
Yeah, he's feeling it, and you knew there was only one thing on his mind once the ball went between the legs of Enow, and that was to shoot towards goal. Looked like it was actually going wide, but Barraza sticks a left foot out just to make sure. Corner kick opportunity now for TFC, but every time Bernardeschi gets on the ball, he's looking to shoot, looking to drive forward, looking to cut in and get that shooting opportunity from the top of the box, and on that occasion through the legs of Enow. And now he'll take this corner kick.
One of the few offensive categories TFC's near the top of the league. Corner kick goals, a couple of them already this season. Here it comes for Bernardeschi. Swinging, rolling, just beyond the head of a pair of Toronto players. And Flores digs himself out of the netting. Well, we head back to this side of the border tomorrow night when the Vancouver Whitecaps look to continue their torrid start to the 2025 MLS regular season when they host Western Conference rival LAFC on Sunday Night Soccer. MLS Countdown kicks off our coverage at 6 p.m. Eastern Time right here on MLS Season Pass. LAFC has been a thorn in Vancouver's side in multiple playoff and Leagues Cup appearances and elsewhere. This might be the time. We'll see. Should be a good one. That one a little bit slow from Kosi Thompson, easily picked off. Schnegg holds up. Now forward for Stroud. Back for Kajima. Out of the attacking half, though, for DC United. And Herrera didn't feel comfortable giving that back to Antley. Keeps possession instead. Bartlett looking for Benteke. Ambitious pass. Coelho trying to chase this down. Changes directions in front of him now and into space for Corbiano. Corbiano now picks up the speed right at Herrera. Floating ball right through the six. Would have been promising if somebody was on the back post, but instead DC begins to build. And Kajima is hoping Benteke will be able to run onto that one, but beaten to it by Long, who has to give it away over the byline, or over the touchline, pardon me, and it's a deep throw here for DC United. The player comparison is presented by Celsius, pure passion and maximum energy with zero sugar. And look at what's happening on that far side touchline for us. Thompson versus David Schnegg. It's been more Bernardeschi really versus Schnegg, the way they've lined it up, but both men doing their jobs on that far line.
And the key thing for Schnegg is he wants to get touches inside the opponent's half and get the throw here, but we haven't seen him, aside from a couple of switches, use that really good left foot to provide delivery into the box. DC, one of the top box entry teams in the league. And this can be dangerous from the throw.
Bit short. Thompson a chance to deal with it. That was off a DC leg. Nope, they still say United ball. Schnegg will get a chance again. This one a little too far out. Quickly back to Servania. Schnegg again with the foot this time. Looking for somebody to get ahead on it. Flores. A couple of volleys and does get it away. Foul as well, so it's Toronto ball.
He continues to impress me, Davy Flores. I mentioned off the top in our RBC players to watch that I feel he's been Toronto's most consistent performer, and his intensity, it really is unmatched. His defensive work, he's really helped out the back line, but today he's been involved getting forward so much. 3 shots, a little bit of skill in his own end to win the free kick, and key in the build as well when they go through central midfield.
Just mentioned the Whitecaps, one-time Whitecap. Short spell there back in 2015, and his world travels have taken him everywhere it seems, and you can see the improved player now as he is comfortably back here in Major League Soccer with Toronto.
you hear the laugh, and Bernardeschi saying, oh my God, he feels that should have been a corner kick. Took a long time for the assistant to raise the flag.
Now Barraza's down on the pitch. Marco de Oliveira going to see what that's about. The left knee issue for Luis Barraza. And we've got the chance now then to take a look at that call.
It's right in front of the assistant, but that foot that comes in, Schnegg feels it's off of Bernardeschi. Bernardeschi is convinced that it's off of Schnegg. And I think it might be off Bernardeschi. I think Schnegg does kick it, and then it goes off of Bernardeschi, but funny interaction there.
And you know, Federico Bernardeschi will still garner some criticism, some cynicism from people, given of course his decorated tenure in Italy. But there are games like this, and we've called multiple Toronto games this year and last, where he is amongst the best players on the pitch. The bottom line is not there, but there's still a lot happening down his side of the pitch.
Always. They're looking for him here today. The other thing is that he absolutely wants to do as much as he can, and sometimes he's guilty of that, trying to do too much, not trusting his teammates. No Jonathan Osorio in the lineup here tonight, a player that sometimes he's able to play off, but he and Lorenzo Insigne, that's the partnership there, initially brought in a couple of years ago to be the two players who would ignite this TFC attack. It hasn't happened from Insigne, but we have seen a lot of flashes here through this first 35 minutes to give TFC fans some hope.
He's good enough to keep going, but he doesn't look entirely comfortable, does he, Luis Barraza? Still looks like he's favoring that left leg. I mean, we are into the 36th minute here. And it has been a shared goal for much of the season, both in MLS play and in now U.S. Open Cup play. Junhong Kim.
Yeah, he's hurting even after that long kick out.
You wonder if we might see a change there at the half. In the meantime, Eno and Flores compete for the ball. Servania ahead for Stroud. Schnegg, hard ball on the ground, didn't reach Kojima, who was in the right place. Brett Hilton and Schnegg battle for it. Thompson rattles that off of it out, and it'll be Toronto ball.
Barraza still kind of limping around his penalty area, the DC United goalkeeper.
Rosted to Petretta. Crowded down this side of the pitch right now. Coelho thinks about a switch. And it's a wonderful ball ahead for Kosi Thompson. Bernardeschi's pass has to reach back for it. Cutting back to the middle. Flores. Coelho into the corner. Thompson won't be able to reach around Kojima. See what Barraza looks like here as he takes a slow stroll back for the goal kick.
It's such an important part of their build out too, the long ball forward to Christian Benteke.
These are the team benches built by the Home Depot. And for Robin Fraser, one substitute goal on the season. Perhaps he's hoping there is one that lies there. And for Troy Lesesne, not a lot of goals available off the bench. They do have one substitute goal of the season, and on that bench for today's game, one goal this season for DC United.
What a goal it was, though, from Jacob Morel, who scored a cracker midweek as well. He only scores the best of goals.
Big 2-0 victory against Charleston Battery, one of the better USL teams, of course. And both goals coming in extra time. They've had some strange scoring. Of course, going back a week ago, 2 goals in first half added time. And then 2 in extra time midweek, so sometimes 45 and 90 just isn't enough for DC United. Coelho. Cross for Flores. Defenders exchange the passing, and now Petretta. Corbiano can't come back to get it, but it's right back into TFC possession. Coelho's got to be careful, right past Pendeke. And Johnson has to move it quickly. Bernardeschi versus Schnegg, tries to shake free. Got it to Flores. Coelho reaching up high for it. But that's boot in the face of Stroud. And Insigne wins the aerial battle there. Won't be many that he does, but he got that one. Coelho for Florence. Rosted. Petretta had to reach back for the ball. He'll get the benefit of the call, even though it was left behind by Petretta. Marcos de Oliveira points in favor of TFC, and this one's from a bit of a ways out, but Toronto's been slowed down here of late, and a chance now to make something on this free kick.
DC United does a nice job to get narrow and tight around the ball when they've got bodies in behind. And Toronto's struggled to kind of get through there, but they do get a free kick situation now where they've been wasteful with the first couple that have kind of come in either from the corner kick or free kicks. Bernardeschi always on set piece duty, either side.
Bernardeschi looking for posts. Put it off of Long. Flores puts it back in towards the edge of the 6. Another chance for Florence. Thompson, Corbiano, did he keep it alive? He did. No flags are in the air. Insigne will get it back again. And the foul on Brynhildsen. And this one closer. And a chance maybe for Bernardeschi to curl this one around the wall. And Tess Barraza.
That's exactly who should be hitting this one. And he's the man on the ball right now. Lorenzo Insigne. So many successful years at Napoli and with the Italian national team. And he's got an eye for goal. Excellent from these positions in open play where he likes to cut in onto the right foot. And now a dead ball opportunity to try to pick out one of the top corners here.
Pick your Italian here. Who will it be? 4-man wall and the stopper as well. It will be Insigne. Right at Barraza. He's able to get those 2 mitts up and make the block.
Good execution though. Just not enough away from the keeper. Comfortable in the end. Barraza getting behind that. He's been a calming presence, I think, the DC United goalkeeper, since stepping in for Kim after that loss in San Jose. The big number that went up, 6 goals in behind them, not down to the keeper himself, but it was time for a shakeup. Kim got his chance midweek and got the clean sheet through 120 minutes against Charleston, but Barraza back in and looking solid in the early going here.
13-0 the shots attempted in the match. 5 on target for Toronto. All the way back past Kevin Long. Thompson. Bernardeschi. Back for Thompson. To flip that ahead to Insigne. Didn't connect. Kojima stymied down that touchline by Bernardeschi. Petretta. And now Corbiano again, 1v1 at the edge of the box against Herrera. And that's a couple of times now. There's been service to the back post, but nobody there. Schnegg turning the corner on Flores, but Flores outruns him and is able to steal the ball right back again. It has been an adventure for Schnegg down that touchline.
What an effort from Flores as well. Will not give up in any duel. Able to win the ball back.
Thompson, the shake and bake around Kojima. Again, the ball to an area of the box where there was no white kits around. Bernardeschi coming over to this left side. Corbiano's there with him. It's the service. Brindleson went for a run. He's taken down. No point. Coasia to Thompson. He's chip past Kojima. Through Insigne, and the foul by the Toronto player as it clips his hand. More activity around that DC United box. Hadn't seen a lot of it of late. As for Toronto's next match, FC Cincinnati is just around the corner. Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, midweeks have started here in Major League Soccer. Bernardeschi taking on Evander. Kevin Denke has been on fire. If you're in Toronto, want to come to the game, go to MLSsoccer.com/tickets. At a time is presented by Audi, and really just the injury from the goalkeeper Luis Barraza that slowed us down here in this opening half, so just the 2 minutes.
And looking at the play from Toronto and the chances they've had, so many balls into the box, you look at the field and you think, what if Christian Benteke was in the other half as one of the center forwards getting onto the end of those balls, because Bryn Hilton just hasn't been able to get into open spaces.
The ball skips through though, right into Stroud, and a heavy touch. And he's dispossessed, but it's still DC United ball. That was a fortunate bounce. Stroud in stride, if you will. But he couldn't make anything of it. Aaron Herrera, a chance for a long throw here now. Right near the byline. It's deep. And now towards the edge of the 6. Flores on the volley. Schnegg well off the mark.
It looks as if Christian Benteke wondering why Schnegg shot there. It was a good effort from the Austrian. Right-footed this time. Made a nice connection. Finally a shot towards goal anyway for DC United.
Just the one MLS goal in his 13 MLS appearances up to this point for David Schnegg. Flores just beyond the reach of Benteke.
He's completely in isolation and so frustrated, Benteke there.
Yeah, you can
25 yards between him and the next line of pressure, which isn't pressure if it's not in cohesion.
Golden Boot winner is going to have a hard time getting golden with zero service here today. Schnegg coming together with Bernardeschi, protecting the ball this time. And there's the point to end this opening half. And it was all Toronto. One shot there at the end from David Schnegg, and that was the lone shot of the opening half as Toronto and DC United get to the room 0-0. We'll come back with the opening highlights and a lot more next year in MLS Season Pass.
At IHG Hotels and Resorts, you can explore the neighborhood or live like a local. Unplug for the day or plunge into a long weekend. With IHG's 19 hotel brands, you can guest how you guest.
Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. The sweet scent of a honeymoon in Fiji. Moisturize with vitamin B3.
You better not be using all the Old Spice.
Ooh, can you get my bag?
Hola.
Maybe a different beer?
No, Michelob Ultra.
Okay, be right back.
Mr. Messi,
Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
At RBC Wealth Management, we know you have ideas for your future. Ideas that can have you enjoying the moment or owning the moment. They can bring investment opportunities or opportunities to invest in yourself. Ideas that can have you doing good or feeling great. From following your passion to making your passion work for you. What ideas will you bring to life? Know more with RBC Wealth Management.
Welcome to the Audi halftime report from BMO Field in Toronto, Ontario. 0-0 TFC and DC United still knotted up despite what you are about to see, which is pure and utter domination by the home side, and yet they come away fruitless, not for lack of effort, though, as the two sides trotted out on a glorious day by the lake here. And Toronto concentrating on that right side of Federico Bernardeschi for much of the night. But it was actually a Davy Flores opportunity that got things started.
Doesn't he hit it well, too? On the ball, is wide. That was a sign of things to come, and for Flores in particular. He was very offensive-minded in that first 45. A lot of the play for TFC coming down that right flank, and Bernardeschi always integral. This is a good shooting chance from Insigne that's well stopped, and an informed striker, I think, hits that first time on the rebound. But Brynhildsen labors on the ball, gets stuck in his feet, and then when he finally gets it out, he skies it high and over. Really poor from the Toronto number 9 there. An opportunity to open the scoring.
More from Bernardeschi right at the 6-yard box. This one just squirts out to Flores, though.
And this time, never afraid to hit it as hard as he can. I think on the second opportunity, he wants to just try to keep that down, but terrific left foot. And then as it bounces back quickly, he puts it over the goal.
And it was like the debt clock, the shot counter. That one from a free kick off the foot of Insigne.
So good at those set pieces. Just can't put it to the left and into the corner a little bit further away from the goalkeeper. And Barazza, who's seen a barrage of shots in that first half, comfortable with that save.
Look at that, 13 shots attempted, 5 on target. And again, DC United's defense has been a lot better in the last handful of games. We'll see if Troy Lesesne can get them to lock it down a little bit. The possession well in favor of TFC as well, and all the corners, but a low amount period, with just the 3 corners so far on the day. We talked about that drought of scoring. Well, it nears 500. That close, though, for TFC in the opening half. Back with lots more after this.
Seattle makes noise. We were here. Added time in Philly? Of course. LA captures the cup? Legendary. For 15 seasons and counting, we've had the best view in the house. Join us every week to see what happens next.
As fast as an hour with express delivery. Welcome to your Walmart.
You gotta look it up sometime.
Let me see.
Or no, not on...
Did you search cool outfits to wear with shark tooth necklace?
Yeah.
Goldfish have short memories. Be like goldfish.
Brother, it's a statement piece.
At RBC Wealth Management, we know you have ideas for your future. Ideas that can have you enjoying the moment or owning the moment. They can bring investment opportunities or opportunities to invest in yourself. Ideas that can have you doing good or feeling great. From following your passion to making your passion work for you. What ideas will you bring to life? Know more with RBC Wealth Management.
Julie needs tires. But to Julie, buying tires feels about the same as getting robocalls. Annoying. Don't answer that call, Julie. Discount Tire presents Treadwell. With just a few clicks, Treadwell analyzes millions of data points and delivers personalized results to you. Simple. Easy. Finally, you have someone who cares.
Let's get you taken care of.
Welcome back to the Audi halftime report. 0-0. TFC DC United here at BMO Field in Toronto on a gorgeous day. Fans enjoying what the home side has provided in terms of entertainment, albeit no goals so far. There have been goals elsewhere, though. Kwame with the 86th minute winner for the Fire in a 2-1 victory over Atlanta United. That one is a final and still underway at the half. How about this? Minnesota United with a 2-0 lead over Inter Miami, and a whole slate of matches still to come here on this match day 12, including one late night contest there between the Timbers and Sporting Kansas City. Sunday night soccer there, Whitecaps and LAFC. The top performance is presented by Audi. I've always thought of Davey Flores more of a destroyer number 6, but he's involved everywhere here.
3 really good opportunities. This one, the best of them, that hit the upright. We mentioned right from the top, he's a player to watch for Toronto, and he has come out with such fire and desire and commitment here today on both sides of the ball. This is his defensive play. Terrific effort from a trailing position to come in front of Schnegg and win the ball and keep Toronto in possession.
And here's where he has been so far on the pitch. A look at the heat map for Davey Flores, and covering a lot of ground here. The effort is there from a lot of TFC players, and none more so perhaps than Davey Flores. This is Major League Performance. This is Audi, official automotive partner of Major League Soccer. You even see that one line right towards the edge of the 6 there, Paul.
He's been everywhere. He always is. He's been so good in defensively helping out Toronto FC, and has looked good on the attack today.
Well, the second half is right around the corner on your MLS Season Pass.
Playing for an ultra?
We playing for ultras? Brace you for an ultra?
Put an ultra on it. Don't forget, there's ultras on the line. Woo! I didn't.
Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
So what are you working on?
Something for the Garcias. Right there's great.
Love you, honey.
Thanks, Mom.
We've got 24 hours to get all of this under control.
Then you're gonna need these today.
Oh, we can deliver that.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow. Get delivery at the speed you need only at the Home Depot.
blower. And I'm not exactly street legal.
And if you don't have the right auto coverage, this could really blow your budget. So get Allstate, save money, and be protected from mayhem. Yeah, like me.
And when you're with Amex Platinum, you never miss the next big moment. That's the powerful backing of American Express.
Welcome to Toronto, Ontario. This broadcast of MLS on Apple TV is presented by T-Mobile. Fabulous backdrop, the blue sky, weeping willows starting to bud. Spring absolutely underway today here at BMO Field, but the scoring has not sprung. 0-0 as we get set for the start of this second half, and the supporters camp brought to you by Lowe's. Visit Lowe's for the ultimate assist on your next project. And the fans just waiting, biding their time. They've almost waited 500 minutes on the home half of the schedule for TFC to get a goal. They can wait a few more, perhaps, and TFC is going to try to do its part to please its fans. But, of course, DC United will have something to say about that. A wise MLS coach once told me, average 1 point on the road, 2 points at home, you're going to make the playoffs. Both of these sides have done their job away from their respective home pitches, but both want to improve what they're doing on the home side of things. And the Italians coming up with a game plan, perhaps, of what they would like to do here in the second 45.
I think more of the same from what we saw in the first 45. And for Troy Lesesne, what he was telling us before this game is he's been really pleased that they've been more sound in not allowing big transition moments. But part of that today is because DC has not had the ball deep in their own opponent's half, meaning that they haven't been able to get caught out in transition. It's been more from the build that Toronto's created their chances, but a lot again from the periphery. There are opportunities, though, that I think Robin Fraser will be scratching his head that weren't converted. And all it takes for DC is just that one moment when you've got a Christian Benteke, last year's Golden Boot winner, inside the penalty area at any time. He can be a danger. It's just a matter of DC now trying to get something going that will give them those opportunities to put it into danger spots.
Christian Benteke needs some help, though. 44 career MLS goals for him, just 23 scored by the rest of the starting 11. Chance for somebody to step up here. Coelho curls away from traffic and then might have given it away to Benteke as it rattles off a pair of feet, and it's a goal kick for Sean Johnson.
That was almost the mistake there that Robin Fraser worries so much about. All this good play, and then one little giveaway there from Coelho. Benteke sniffing it out. Mentioned before that if he's not able to get the service, he's so good at pressuring from the front. DC want to be an aggressive team. Haven't seen a lot of it outside of him from the front today.
What a reception there by Bernardeschi. Gets that into Brynhildsen. Bernardeschi still has it. Is there a shot? Corbianu chipping that. Can't find the target of Insigne at the back post. Rasa did well to elevate. Schnegg to Ina. To Schnegg. Well to evade Kosi Thompson. Teke. Into the corner for Kajima. Cervantes with him. At the corner. Looking for Benteke, but missed him, and Aaron Herrera lets that roll for a corner kick. And that's better from DC United. The target is there for Benteke at the very least. This is the win probability, given where we are here in this 47th minute. And very similar to what we saw at the outset of the match. Just under 35% for Toronto, just over 26% for DC United. just the first corner of the match for DC United. So right away, Troy Lesane has to feel like there's some traction in the early moments. Herrera with the service. Low driving ball, not much there at the edge of the 6. Does it go right back to the corner? It does.
He puts his hand up there. He knows that he needs to miss the first man with a better delivery. That was driven in low.
One more try here for Herrera. Edge of the 6. Flores, of course. Insigne quickly to Corbiano, who's got some wheels, but Herrera does as well. What a race down the left side. Corbiano looking for Insigne! Lorenzo Insigne is on the board, and so is Toronto. It's 1-0. What a finish by the Italian. They do not let the home drought get to 500 minutes.
And that is the big transitional moment that catches DC United out. And it's all down to the speed and the control of Theo Corbiano and the finish there from Lorenzo Insigne. And what a picture that is. Insigne and his manager, Robin Fraser, who's given them the start here today. Look at the breakaway speed from Corbiano. Herrera all the way from the corner flag, trying to make up the ground, perfectly placed right at the penalty spot. And Insigne, 5'4" frame, able to get down, put the head on it, and sneak it inside the corner of the post and open the scoring for Toronto FC. Brilliant counterattack goal from Toronto, and the goal drought here at BMO Field is broken.
Quick moment here for Kojima. Couldn't quite cut it back for Stroud, who was right there with him. Is there a chance for a quick answer here from DC United? Zervania from distance, his shot would have been off the teammate Kojima towards the edge of the 6. Flores off a teammate. Kojima again cutting it back. Schnegg testing Sean Johnson. And there's Johnson's first big save of the match. Good answer from DC United. Bernardeschi did not like confrontation there with Schnegg. The foul is now called.
Bernardeschi was held up in the corner by Schnegg, who put the body on him. The referee was hoping to play advantage and is suggesting that now to Bernardeschi. Eventually blows a whistle for the foul.
Back to the goal. Again, I've been addressing the cynics of the Italians here in Toronto, but that's why Robin Fraser feels obliged to keep them in the lineup, to see if that moment's going to happen, right?
And it did there. It was a terrific header. Not the easiest either. The ball was a little bit behind him. He had to judge it well, get down, and then he still had to steer it into the corner as well to use the pace of the ball that came in from Corbiano, who did so well down the left-hand side to break away from the defender Herrera. And then able to control himself to pick out Insigne, who he saw making his way toward the penalty spot.
Just the 15th career MLS goal for Insigne, but that was enormous. Was it a gorilla, a woolly mammoth on his back? We'll see if that unlocks Lorenzo Insigne a little bit. Well, had that back in the direction of Brynildson, but picked off by now, and now it's a chance to move forward here for DC United. Rolls to Schnegg. Chase back by Toronto. By the way, that is still Barraza in goal. We had wondered about his injury and if he might need to come out for the second half, but he has stayed with us. Herrera. That's that goal out, and it is back to DC ball.
Turn out, Brando. Turn out.
Right after the goal, of course, some good pressure from DC United, and they come this close to tying it right back up.
A little bit sloppy from TFC. Creates the opportunity. Ball bounces out. Schneeg onto his left. And a fine save for a keeper who hasn't had to do anything through the first 45, and then to be called into action, bats it away.
Benteke, edge of the box, gets a shot away. That was a heavy one too, and Johnson's able to carry it away. And that brief moment for these world-class players like Benteke. Doesn't take much. That was past a pair of defenders and still makes Johnson work for it.
We talk so much about how good he is inside the box, but former Liverpool striker, Crystal Palace, of course, so experienced and such a good deliverer of shots like this as well. And that was a little bit of a tricky one as it dipped just in front of Johnson. Didn't hit the ground though, so it made it easier for him to get hands behind it and push it away.
Benteke's thinking, forget the service, just give me the ball, I'll do it anyway. Flores, diagonal ball looking for Bernardeschi. That one stayed up in the air too long. Following up was Thompson, but gives it right back to DC United. The through ball picked off by Thompson. Kajima slows things down a little bit. Servani tapping that back for Herrera. Thought about going long for Benteke. Instead, holds. Be able to get past Brynhildsen. He now to the defenders. Kajima battles. He now tugged back by Insigne. Quick restart for DC United. Benteke lurking at the far post. There it is from Schneeg. Johnson flying through the air to punch that away. Servania. Well, the call is in the other direction. No advantage being played. It'll be Toronto ball.
And that was good from Insigne to get his body position there to draw the foul. Here's the save from Johnson again. Called into action twice now in a matter of minutes. This time punching it away after making the earlier save from Benteke. Confident in clearing the danger.
Quality is picking up in the final thirds, but for both teams now. DC United looking dangerous in the second half, and really from the get-go. It is Toronto with the only goal so far. But we've got ourselves a match here at BMO Field. Go see Thompson under some pressure. Chases down his first ever touch. He's taken down by Benteke.
Plays with so much fire, Benteke. You love to see your designated player engaged as Benteke is. Wants to win the ball back, brings down Thompson.
Pretty polite match so far, no bookings. And DC United is guilty of that. Most yellow cards in Major League Soccer. Corbiano holds up. Coelho. Flores lets that get through to Thompson. Insigne one touch. Bernardeschi into the corner. Insigne onside. Service into the box. Dealt with by DC. Flores wants to get back into the area once more. Petrena this time sees the lane open up. All the way across for Insigne. Bernardeschi now feeds that through to Brynhildsen. Back to goal though. Back to goal and now on goal. Barraza makes the stop.
That was better from the Toronto number 9, Brynhildsen, inside the box. Likes to get onto his left foot. At first it looked like Insigne was lining up to maybe have a poke first time on the volley. Plays it in for Bernardeschi. Nice little slip pass forward for Brynhildsen, who was able to wriggle his way for the shooting chance.
Insigne with the steal there. Bernardeschi can't come down with it. And now goes central. Bartlett picks it up. Herrera. Speed across the middle. Staying away from TFC, and now settled down by DC United. Rolls. Stroud makes the turn. Heavy touch there, though. Gave it away. Corbiano, all sorts of space. Reminiscent of how that goal started, but it holds up this time, puts the brakes on. And Doley, how tempted is Robin Fraser to nurse home a 1-0 lead at this point, given the season here at home? As Corbiano gets it at the edge of the box. 1v1 versus Herrera. Petrella. Corbiano tucking that in for Bernardeschi, who's come all the way across. Rattles off of Bernardeschi. Tight corners. Kajima with a nice reception and beautiful pass by Servania to get out of trouble.
I don't think you want to switch what is working so well, and for Toronto, it's applying aggressive pressure from the front, continuing to force DC to track back, bunker in their 5. But they obviously need to be very wary of any transitional opportunities, and DC likes to go direct. They've got that outlet up front in Benteke, and the body's underneath. But I feel if they sit and soak up the pressure, they're just asking for trouble, especially with the ability of their wide players to get balls into dangerous areas, and then it's a duel that you don't want to win, or you can't win, really, against the best aerial player in Major League Soccer.
Get ready for more match day action later tonight when MLS Countdown comes our way at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Host Caitlin and Kyle and the crew get set for all the night's action, as we showed you earlier. Quite a bit of it.
And one of the things that Robin Fraser pointed out specifically about how to game plan against DC is prevention is better than the cure. And that means stemming the service in the first place and getting really tight to the wide players. And they've done a nice job of that here today, and a lot of it through their own control of the game, through their own possession. DC United not able to get on track at all and combine down the flanks to get into those dangerous crossing positions.
Hanley. The rolls. Bartlett plays it up the right side. He'll get it back. Bartlett going on a run. Holds off the backtrack of Corbiano. They're going to have to bring it all the way back here. No quick restart for DC United.
With the extra player that DC's employed in the back 5, it does mean that there's one less player forward. So if your center back can get on the ball and drive forward like that, create a set play opportunity, now you get everybody up, and this is a chance to create something.
Herrera all alone over top of the ball. Short to Servania. Chip play to Kijima didn't work. Sean Johnson comfortably.
Not a bad idea, though. I like that set play in its design, just not the execution in the end.
Sidney in trouble, able to offload. Rosted to Coelho. Insigne has a little bit of room. And Teke cut him off a little bit. Big ball over the top for Bernardeschi. That's overcooked. Come long. Shadows creeped across the entirety of BMO Field from the stadium. Still a beautiful sunny day here. Perfect temperature for a match. And we'll see what kind of finish each shot has got in them. Thompson battling there with Kajima. Looked like an arm came up, but no call. And a pair of substitutions coming for DC United.
Jacob Merle and Randall Leal set to come on, and they will add that attack. Merle scored that fantastic goal midweek. And Leal tricky down the flank as well.
Flores uses the outside of his foot. That is a beautiful ball. Petrella. Insigne had to wait for it. And that ball through to Bernardeschi towards the area. On the left foot. missed it wide. He will likely be disappointed with that one.
What a pass from Insigne, and you see the thumbs up for Bernardeschi. Measured perfectly, and it spins the defender Antley. And Bernardeschi, as he cuts inside, as he so often does, just can't get his feet right. Powers it just wide as the changes are made now. Well, Lorenzo Insigne is having himself a game here today. Jose Kojima couldn't get himself on the ball, and involved as he was in the last game. And so Leal and Merle up front now. We'll see if this is more of a two-striker situation.
Stroud, the other player, coming off.
And another quiet game for Stroud. Very quiet on the season. No goals, no assists, still in that more advanced position.
Long ball gets through. Cleared by Long. As he played by Antley right into the hands of Barraza. The MSG Live scores are presented by AT&T. And Miami creeping back into its match with the Loons 2-1 now, as they trail in that match. Down the left side, well, his first touch, able to hold up possession now. Layout, and now all the way back to the defenders now. Confident in possession, though, DC United with the substitutes in. Lau being harassed by Coelho there in the center circle. By the way, that Inter Miami goal by Julian Messi, making it a 2-1 match. Leal and Davy Flores dueling. Cut back for Rolls. DC United having trouble getting through. Brynhildsen as Corbiano beside him, cuts to the middle all by himself. He still has it. Now we'll go wide. Corbiano waiting for the cavalry. And there's Petretta. Long for Bernardeschi. Overlapping run from Insigne. Insigne going back post! An own goal! Created by Insigne nonetheless. It's 2-0 Toronto.
And a lot of the plaudits going to Bernardeschi as well, as the two Italians combine to create the goal that flies in behind Barraza to make it 2-0. And after 500 minutes almost of scoreless action from TFC at BMO Field, they've got 2 in this second half. After the good work from Bernardeschi, it's Insigne who plays the perfect ball across the face of the 6. It's a difficult one to deal with in close. And it's hammered home inside as coming back to try to help out, but steering it into his own goal. High and in behind Barraza. And Toronto FC with a 2-goal lead now.
Brynhildsen deserves some credit there as well. It was Bartlett tracking back. But Brynhildsen, remember, halfway to goal in the offensive half, fending off the defender and keeping possession of the ball for TFC before giving that to Insigne and Bernardeschi. So the finish hasn't been there for the Norwegian, but his hustle keeps that possession alive. And sort of what Robert Fraser was talking to us about, the ferociousness in which he plays.
And you feel for Bartlett as well, and that he really couldn't do much more. He was stretching out to try to prevent the ball from being knocked in on the doorstep, and just powers it into his own goal.
Holds on. Goes to Thompson. For Bernardeschi. Insigne. It looks like he's feeling it right now. Colliding with him now. Bernardeschi comes in to try to keep things alive and falls down on top of Antley.
Such an emotional player. These two are wound up here today. Insigne really is feeling it. He's having a terrific game, his best of the season by a country mile. And he had some good minutes as well. After not having played the first 5 games of the season, did a lot of the things that Robin Fraser was wanting to do. He was responsible defensively as well, but wasn't really contributing getting forward. Just had the 1 assist. But tonight, he's been the man who has created their best chances, scored the first goal, set up the second, and Bernardeschi as well. He's been very strong down the right-hand side.
Such a distraction down that side. Big diagonal ball. Will it get there? It will. Well, now trying to return the pass, stolen by Insigne. That part of the game's been there as well. Fabiano pushed off the ball. And 2 more substitutions coming DC's way as they try to shake things up. They own goal, a backbreaker though. Schnegg cutting towards the middle. There's room there for David Schnegg. He gets it back from Leal. Touches it for Servania. And across now for Herrera. Schnegg on the left foot, trying to curl it in for Benteke. Leal lays it off. Herrera chipping it up. Benteke is there. Got a piece of it. Not towards goal. Stolen by Bernardeschi. Just picked the pocket of Hanley. Insigne, Bernardeschi, he might have to go the whole way though. Does he have the gas? He runs out of it a little bit at the halfway line. And what a run.
And the crowd at BMO Field so appreciative of the efforts for Bernardeschi, first to win that ball back and then to build out from the right.
What a day at the office for Federico Bernardeschi. The heat map presented by IHG. 19 brands, 6,000 destinations. Download the app today. It is almost colored in completely red in the attacking half.
And that's the GPS on the back of the neck that you can see it just above the R there that tracks the number of kilometers or meters that they run in a game. And that's a number I'm interested in seeing post-match. He has absolutely been everywhere in terms of effort, winning that one deep in his own end, just as it looked like there might have been a shooting chance for DC.
Rita Zuhir taking off Connor Antley. And Peltola also coming in. So we'll see if this helps up Troy Lesesne's side. Herrera pings the ball over to Schnegg towards Benteke. Bounds through Insigne. A little awkward there for Bartlett as he tangles with Corbiano. Forced to take on Herrera. There's a mean bit of business, and Herrera wins that battle at the very least. Schnegg. Offloads to Leal. Pass it doesn't connect. And Toronto a chance to get out of its own half. Brynhildsen on the one touch, couldn't find Bernardeschi. Leal over the top looking for Benteke. And the optimistic balls might start to become a fashion here for DC United into the 72nd minute. And substitutions now for Toronto for the first time in the match. A nice clean match for Alonso Coelho. As Matty Longstaff will be taking him off, and Ulla Brynhildsen will come off as well in favor of Derek Etienne Jr.
I think Robin Fraser will be pleased to get more minutes for Brynhildsen, still needing to get into his form, match fitness, and understand the movement of the players trying to provide him service. Had a couple of chances here tonight. And Derek Etienne will line up straight up top, so not normally a center forward, but goes into that number 9 position where he played before the injury a couple of games ago.
Jumped up out of the hand of Corbiano.
And for DC United, they've gone with the 2 center backs now, and Herrera and Schnegg push a little higher. Peltola also can play in that center back role, but is pushed into midfield where he's a natural defensive midfielder, number 6. So they're looking for him to connect through the center of midfield on the ball now.
Bartlett over to Herrera. Thought about looking for Benteke. Got better of it. Merle can't protect the ball. Longstaff and he collide. And a foul won by Longstaff.
And if Insigne and Bernardeschi are the most eye-catching players today, it's Davy Flores for me again, who's just been so many places on the field, breaking up plays, winning the ball back.
Peltola can't make the turn. Insigne the other way. Bernardeschi. Bernardeschi couldn't cut around Rolls, who did well to stand his ground. Peltola looking to spring Merle the other way. Herrera. Leal back to goal to use Herrera again out at the corner. Leal swings a ball in, defended by Rosted. The corner though for DC United, and there is time, no doubt about it. But one here would be certainly helpful for DC United to have a realistic chance of getting points.
And I wonder what that would do mentally to Toronto as well. A fragile team right now, looking good on the day, but one goal could change everything.
Service right to the spot, Benteke. Just takes a moment like that, doesn't it?
And good service too from Leal on that right side now. And yes, Benteke can score out of nothing.
This exclusive NetCam replay brought to you by T-Mobile.
This was the one on Benteke from the edge of the box, coming up from the shadows into goal, and a lot of sting behind it as well. He's got a terrific heavy strike when he gets behind it, Benteke.
Well, tucks it back for Herrera. Back for Merle. Hoping for Benteke. Dealt with by Rosted, but right to Peltola. Peltola for distance. Handles off her body. The Finn collects it again. All the way over for Schnegg. Peltola in the circle. Nice ball ahead. And now Benteke, edge of the box. Back for Leal. Leal tries the shot. Johnson, a diving save.
And the best interchange of the game from DC United centrally between Leal and Benteke. Forces another good save from Johnson.
It's only a trio of shots on goal for DC United, but they've been good stops by Sean Johnson. He has not been an autopilot. Popped up in the box. Flores. Only as far as Servania. Servania, left foot, looking for Benteke. Defended, though. Thompson down the flank. And did that go off of Bernardeschi? It did not, they say. It'll be Toronto ball.
This is Leal with the final touch. A little deflection on the way to goal as well. Taking no chances. Johnson, 2 strong hands behind it and out of danger. And he's been good this season after a bit of a rough start for him and the rest of the Toronto defensive line when they were really leaky to start the season. Then they went on a run where they only allowed 1 goal in 4 games. In large part down to him, especially in Real Salt Lake, where they got their first win of the year away from home. And as you said here, Blake not called in to action a lot here today, but especially in the second half, has had to be sharp just to keep it where it is right now.
Barraza restarts as a goal kick. DC gets to work. 78 minutes old here at BMO Field. Blake Price, Paul Dolan bringing you all the action. As Toronto looks to open its win column for the season here at home. DC United wants nothing of it, but they'll have to go to work here. And the throw was called back, so it'll be Toronto ball.
Good. Let's get from there.
Destroys a little momentum for United. Thompson looking for instruction, and now up 2-0. Time wasting may come into effect here for Toronto. Big switch from Bernardeschi right to Corbiano. On the outside of the foot, Tess Barraza. All sorts of time and space for Corbiano. He cannot get the third, though. All challenged by Longstaff, who comes back to intercept. Pretty clinical right now from Toronto in defending. Thompson, Insigne, Bernardeschi. It's been a long match, and Schnegg wins that one, although a great pass. Left Rolls in a bit of trouble. Peltola now. Well. Merle and Herrera on the overlapping run. Aaron Herrera cutting back once more on the left foot. Ambitious from Zuhir, but he couldn't pull off the bicycle. Herrera again, diving header, just wide. And it's going to be a corner for DC United. Both Benteke and Zuhir were right there. Merle as well.
I think Benteke wondering too if that might have hit a hand inside, as it's a good ball in from Herrera. A little slow from Corbiano to get out and block that service. Comes off of Zuhir and then off of the Toronto defender for the corner kick.
No check. Ball comes in. There's Benteke skying on the back of Long, who certainly felt the big man on him. After such a quiet opening half, Christian Benteke has to be pleased about what this has looked like, but he's still been unable to convert.
And they've been getting so many more corner kicks and free kicks as well in this half. DC now having to force the issue by pressing players forward, and that's led to more chances. As Lorenzo Insigne, he has had his best match of the season, not just because he's found himself on the score sheet, but been very good in the build. Lots of good interaction, particularly with Bernardeschi down the right-hand side. And Bernardeschi will also make way here as Therese Spicer comes on.
And a nice ovation from the home side fans. They'll want to see this through. We're into the 82nd minute now for Toronto. And Sean Johnson ready to get play going again here. Late in the second half, 2-0 Toronto leads. Zuhir. And the first touch, Shavania now. Peltola. Spinning away from Etienne. Herrera. into the corner. Merle running out of space, able to cut it back. Deflected up into the air, and Johnson comfortably makes the play. The match momentum is presented by Old Spice. I'll be interested to see what that first half looks like. That's about right. All red for Toronto. And yet you see a very competitive DC United team in the second half. I would say they win on those judges' cards. Unfortunately, cannot convert them into goals.
Things change so often. They always say goals change games, and once the first goal went in for Toronto, it was down to DC to then push the situation a little bit more and be more aggressive getting forward. But Toronto now in good control with a 2-0 lead. And they've kept most of the chances for DC to the periphery. That one-headed chance from Zahir in close just a moment ago. But now with the changes up front, they've got some fresh legs to try to press from there. As Etienne now looking to force the issue and keep DC away from their own half.
Leal held back by Longstaff. Rolls over the top, looking for Benteke. That was looking promising for a moment, but a deft foot there by Rosted.
It was a good adjustment there. As Kevin Long was backtracking, had to get the leg out at the last second. It looked like it might drop in for Benteke.
And the night is over for Savania. As Fidel Barajas will trot on, the young 19-year-old.
So much potential for this player that we first saw at Real Salt Lake, and looked like he was going to be a real up-and-comer in MLS. Went to Chivas Guadalajara. And hasn't seen a lot of minutes under Troy Lesesne, but has the potential. Very crafty, good move.
It was. Schneck now. Diving play. Benteke off the board.
That's an incredible save. Unbelievable from Sean Johnson at point blank. After the work in the corner from Barajas, sets that up. Good cross in, and the last man from a Toronto perspective that you want inside the box. Benteke on the left foot. Superb save from Johnson.
Wonderfully crafted play, but DC still can't get one. Out of the corner now. Botola back inside the area. And a slow pounding ball into Johnson this time. My goodness, if DC United's not going to score on that last play, though, what is it going to take?
When you want your keeper to come up big in a game where one goal could change it, still 5 minutes plus stoppage time. Maybe a little late in the game for DC, but certainly not over. If that goes in, it really is on the line again, with probably 10 or more minutes of actual time to be played.
Longstaff. Petretta. Spicer. Shake free from Herrera. Coughed it up. Leal let that ball get through, and a trio of TFC players are there. Corbiano's now switched flanks here, playing the role of Bernardeschi now around Schneck. All sorts of room. Corbiano across the face of goal. Nobody can get a foot on it, and DC dodges that one.
Corbiano now on the right side doing everything he can to replicate what caused the second goal, putting it in such a dangerous area across the face of goal. Just no Toronto player is able to get onto it. Derek Etienne suggested that his shirt was being pulled as he tried to get inside the 6.
Bernardeschi was already a tough mark for Schneck down that right side, and Corbiano's faster than Bernardeschi.
Toronto's wide players have been fantastic here today. Corbiano setting up the first down the left side. Bernardeschi is doing everything he could to go 80 minutes and create chances. And now switching sides, Corbiano causing havoc with his right foot.
Thompson zooms one in for Etienne. Collision with Rita Zahir, who did not like the call. Flores getting set, and we are back underway, but DC United also getting set for its next match against New York City FC. Longstaff to Spicer just outside the box. Spicer, shot is blocked. That's Wednesday, by the way, another midweek match. You watch right here on your MLS Season Pass. Christian Benteke hosting Alonso Martinez and company. For tickets, go to MLSsoccer.com/tickets. TFC staying with possession, not parking the bus here at all.
And there needs to be more urgency from DC to get that ball. And they're just being played around right now. Not enough engagement, urgency from the players in black and red.
Thompson accidentally drilled that in the back of Merle. Stays with Toronto. Flores, Corbiano, sliding tackle by Schnegg. Flores faked the cross. And we'll just possess this ball right into the corner. Finally poked free, but DC being pressed right now. Stolen by Kosi Thompson. Thompson wins the corner. And it's just not happening for DC to get out of its own half.
Barajas a little slow to react there and come to the ball. Thompson read it well, jumped the line, able to get onto it. And now kill some more time with this corner kick.
And the crowd coming alive. They can sense win number 1 of the home schedule. Minutes away. Matty Longstaff with the honors from the right corner. And he's still issuing instructions. And now, Marcelo Vera try to calm the traffic in front of Luis Barraza. Longstaff ready now. Arm in the air. And it is mayhem inside the box.
This is the worst part of soccer around the world right now. Restarts. And how long it takes to get the ball in play. You need to find a way to just either card players or give free kicks. Slows the game down so often.
Added time presented by Audi, and just the 4 minutes. This is going to be tough for DC United. But Aaron Herrera on the run helps to get the first yellow card of the match.
Knew what he was doing there, and that's got to be frustrating for DC United. They're away to the races. You call that a professional foul. Very cynical from Dominguez. Absolutely one thing on his mind, and that's to cut down Herrera.
And he actually missed on the initial tackle. It was the second wave of the foot that ended up clipping the heel of Herrera. Baltola, first touch. Right back into possession for Toronto. Etienne pushed away, and there is the foul call. Promising for a moment for DC. Barraza wants things to get going quickly here, so he came way out of his goal to get that ball to the spot. A minute of the 4 already in the books. As Lassane looks on with some concern. 5 points on the road coming into the match. Spicer, pardon me, it's down that left side. Edge of the box. And now the foul will go DC's way and carried out by Petretta. He has to be careful. Could be another booking here. Yeah, pretty polite match, all things said. DC needs to get on its collective horse here. Zuhir. Slowly rose to Kai Rolls. Leal. Last home win, September of 2024 versus Austin. A slide tackle of beauty from Spicer. Ahead for Etienne. Etienne in all sorts of space, working against Bartlett. Takes the shot, Barraza the save, and he holds on. This place would have exploded if that final nail was put in. Now a ball over the top, won't reach Benteke. Well, protects. Into the corner for Baraja. And it needs to go towards goal here. Schneider doesn't see any options though. So here, ahead for Leal, and the foul from behind is there against Longstaff.
Well, you figure that there's not much more than a consolation goal left in it, but you know that Sean Johnson and that Toronto FC defense want to keep a clean sheet here, something that DC United has not been able to do too often. One clean sheet for DC United in the last 40 games. And although they've tightened up defensively, 2 goals again they've allowed here against TFC, but they'd like to just get one themselves going the other way. Some sort of consolation.
Zuhair will do the honors. Floated the ball to right foot. Lying there for a moment. Montola off the mark. And there's 4 minutes now. And there's the point. And there's the first home win of the season for Toronto. As the fans rise to their feet and breathe a collective sigh of relief. 3 points for the home side for the first time all year long.
And as much as anything else, I think Robin Fraser will be pleased with the performance of his team. They were absolutely dominant from stem to stern. Fantastic performance today from Toronto FC.
Federico Bernardeschi, Lorenzo Insigne both making their marks on the match, to be sure. But a pretty professional win, as you mentioned. And it's time for the player of the match. And while he doesn't get the goal, he gets the glory here, doesn't he? Because he was marvelous down the right side.
He was outstanding right from the start. I think he really set the tone, created a lot of chances. This one for Insigne set up the own goal opportunity that Insigne put in as well. Good defensive work too. He really did run every blade of grass on BMO Field's pitch here today. And a very worthy player of the match, Federico Bernardeschi.
And the problem is, people are going to watch this match, Dolly, and they're going to say, more, do it again. Because they do make it look easy on a day like today.
They did. And, you know, you have to say, was that because DC United didn't have their strongest performance? Show it to us against the better teams. And that will be the call to action. And Lorenzo Insigne involved in that as well, because I think he had his best performance of the season so far. And Sean Johnson was outstanding when need be, late in the game too. 1 goal for DC at the times he made critical saves, and this thing could have gone the wrong way for Toronto with how fragile they were coming into this match. But this will be a huge boost of belief for them and confidence. Robin Fraser saying he saw it on the training pitch. Well, he saw it for 90 minutes here today on the big field.
Well, a celebration, I'm sure, is coming for the players in the TFC room to nail the final over DC United. More to come.
Ready? MLS is game on. Dochi? On. Stars on.
Kevin Sullivan, the history maker.
30,000 friends on. Rivalries on.
versus New York City.
MLS, this is our soccer. Game on.
I'm the voice inside your head. And while you're typically athletic, right now, you're pathetic. Rick, and once you start listening to me, it's gonna be hard to stop. Shank. And if you don't have the right auto coverage, the cost of this could hit you out of nowhere. So get Allstate, save money, and be protected from mayhem, like me.
Refresh your energy with zero sugar, essential vitamins, and proven ingredients. Celsius. Live fit.
Back inside a jubilant BMO Field, and jubilance felt here at BMO Field for the first time since early fall of last season. The opening win at home for Toronto FC, 2-0 over DC United. Theo Corpiano, a big part of that. He had a fabulous game out wide as well. The match highlights presented by the powerful backing of American Express. And looking back at 2 hours ago as they marched onto the pitch and things got started with a good early chance from, of all people, Davy Flores.
Good long distance effort off the volley. The follow-up from Bernardeschi, just a few inches wide. But it showed the attacking intent right from the start that Toronto FC had. They had the majority of the possession inside the DC half, created lots of shooting chances. That one from Flores off the upright. It's that right channel where they had so much success, and that's why Bernardeschi had such a good game. He was on the ball so much. Good touches here as he lays one back, and Insigne fires that in, and Barraza makes a nice save. Brynhildsen needs to do a little better on the rebound. Gets it caught on his foot as soon as it comes off of the keeper, and then skies it over after the save from Barraza.
Early moment that Insigne could have had another goal involvement, perhaps. Second half, Corbriano finds him nevertheless.
And it's an excellent header. It really is. The way he adjusts his body, gets down low, and steers it into the corner because it has to get beyond the outstretched Barraza, who is quick to get across. You see the big smile and the love from Lorenzo Insigne as he goes to the bench there and gets mobbed by his teammates who want to see him do well in a TFC jersey. Then he sets up this one. Lucas Bartlett can only steer it high and into his own goal as he cuts across. It's because of how good that ball is, though, that there's nothing else that Bartlett can do. Brynhildsen waiting in behind. And that 2-0 bulge is all TFC really needed, but it did take some good goalkeeping too in the end. This is an outrageous save, really, from Sean Johnson, who's made a number of those this season, but at a big time as well. And off the foot of the Golden Boot winner from last year, Benteke, with lots of power. And up and off the crossbar, Johnson keeps it 2-0.
And it wasn't a quiet night for Johnson in the end. 13 shots taken, 12 shots in the second half for DC United. So they did their best to try to get back into it, and not quite the 36 shots from a few years back between these two teams for Toronto FC, but 20 is a pretty good number for them as well. So it was an active match in the end, and 5 corners in the second half for DC United as well. But Bernardeschi was certainly a handful all season long, and needless to say, was pretty happy to get into the win column here in the home half of the schedule.
Oh, I'm so happy. We played a good game in front of our support, our fans, so we're proud of it.
To be proud of the